Hey everyone, Bill Parish here with GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Well, today is very special. It's the end of the year, so happy holidays to everyone. And I started this channel the first week in January in 2020, and I committed to myself that I would release an episode every 2 weeks on Tuesday morning. And I did so. So this is the 26th episode, and we'll continue it for 2021 because, well, as far as YouTube subscribers are concerned, in the grand scheme of things, it's quite embarrassing, but I have a few hundred subscribers, and I thank you guys for that. If you guys check in and watch it on a routine basis and you're not subscribed, please do so. Hit the subscribe button down below. That helps our ratings. It lets you know when there's a new episode that's out. It's really good for the channel. And happy holidays, everyone. It's going to be an interesting episode, I think. I hope. I think we've had a lot of interesting conversations. I really enjoyed the guests that joined the channel, some of the Skype calls, the fellows that came here and joined in. We did some product launches. I mean, I think you would agree that you never know what you're going to get here. And today's going to be different. Today's going to be very different. And, you know, one thing that let's start. When you think about one size fits all, I think nearly everyone would agree that there's a compromise in that. I mean, just when you ask for one thing to fit everything, it can't be as good as that, you know, that custom fit, if you will. And, you know, where am I going with this? Well, I played college ball, and I mean, in high school and everything, we had this one-size-fit-all hat, and I'll never forget the time I get to college, and they measure our heads and give us custom-fit ball caps. I mean, I thought we were in the pros at that time. I mean, that was fantastic. But where I'm going with this is, it's in regards to tweaks, and I'm not anti-tweak. I've talked about some things in one of the episodes here, and you come here and you don't see tweaks, but that's because I'm a dealer and a distributor, and we display everything how we sell it. I can't tweak something and then you take it home and think that it's going to sound a certain way when in fact it doesn't. Really, with tubes in particular, this is the case, right? I mean, I remember when we carried a lot of tube electronics, and you know, tube rolling's a big thing, and why am I not using new old stock tubes? Because I don't sell it with new old stock tubes. You know, if I'm going to sell it to you with a $30 tube in there, I'm not going to display it for you with a $300 tube in there. I believe in being fair, and I think that's fair. That's also I believe the components should sit on their own feet. Now, yes, there are footers out there that can change the sound. Everything changes the sound. Is it for better or for worse? That's something that you need to decide. But one thing's for sure is it changes the resonant frequency of the component. So it's going to measure different. And so one footer may sound terrific underneath a Moa Moa Tambaqui, and another footer and the same footer sound absolutely horrific under an Auralic DAC. You know, you just never know. So that's why I say one size fits all is a compromise, and it certainly, I don't think, is the right way to tweak whether it's rooms or audio components. You know, there's these snake oil salesmen, or I guess I can say it a little nicer, black magic products out there that a lot of mail order stuff, but you know, these people want you to buy this and you do this to your components and it makes everything sound better. That is just BS. You know, it may make 50% of the things sound better, but it may make 50% of the things sound worse. So there's no one size fits all in audio. If there was, everybody out there, every component would use Mundorf caps, Vichet resistors, you know, I don't know. You get the idea. You know, the same transformers, there would be no variation. There has to be variations, and therefore not every tweak is going to be right for a specific component. For example, say you tweak your room and you've tweaked certain components. You've tweaked those components in that room based on the other components that are in that room. Now you bring in a new piece. Those tweaks may not be exactly correct for that particular component. So what do? You really got to de-tweak, compare things on their own feet, and then decide which piece is better, and then tweak from there. You understand? And so many people don't. So many people are tweaking tweaks and putting things on top of others and misreading how things sound because they're hearing all this other stuff that they've done. So think about that and understand that. So why I brought this up today, and I thought that this would be an interesting topic, is because someone decided to go down this rabbit hole before they ever even powered on the machine. And so I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to try it with the iPhone and try to show you what has transpired here. So let's try it. Okay, well here we are, a Tambaqui DAC, and I'm going to show you what's inside. So this fella decided that it would be a good idea to modify the DAC before ever listening to it. And I actually stand up here so I can see it a little bit better and get some glasses on. All right. So this is the first thing I found rattling around inside. I don't know what the heck it is. It's glass. It's a crystal. Some sort of black structure, a piece of coal. I don't know. I think it's glass. Anyway, just lounging around inside. You know, let me take a sidestep. Sometimes there's a company out there that sells these little pellet-looking things, and some are blue inside, and silver, and black, and red, and some guys have put these on inside components, and then then they end up falling off and shipping or whatever, shorting out boards. I mean, this is a nuisance. What is this thing? Well, I'll tell you this. Here's another one right here, but this one is round and stays there. It's some sort of crystal. And then down here, you can see, maybe that's where that thing fell off. There, and here's one, whatever this is. And look at these wires. These wires have been painted with something. What the hell is this? This is not the way a Tambaqui looks. And this, now we get over here, there's these, the Tambaqui's got these fiber optic cables that connect to buttons, and there's one that's cut down here, and there's another one that's cut. Now if you look at this has some sort of varnish all over it. There's varnish everywhere. And then we get into, what the hell are these dots? I mean, I already showed you this thing, but look at this, these little white dots. These little white dots, they're everywhere. And then there's stickers on top of them and beside them. And they're there, and here they are. And look at them down here. So someone's taken this component apart, completely took it apart, and put that there. Look at the board and the chips. There's a varnish or there's some sort of shellac all over everything. Here we've got this varnish and what appears to be a bunch of dog hair or cat hair or, God, I don't know what it is. Look at the filth of this board and the varnish. And we've even got here on the Bluetooth module, we've got a dot and a dot. This is not a way a Tambaqui looks. Way down there, I don't think you can see it in the video here. There we go, we focused in. There's something that's spilt in there. There looks like there's been some glue. And what is that copper trace? There's a copper trace there. Let's see, right here there's a copper trace. It's like someone has melted copper on there. Over here, there's a copper trace. Now, what does this do with resale value? Or the poor unsuspecting fella that ends up buying it eventually on the used market because of this. They buy it on the used market. They're not buying a Mola Mola Tambaqui. They're buying a bastardized Tambaqui. Then in here, let's see if we can see it here. There's a whole path of some sort of plastic tape sort of stuff all in there, and that's all the way around. It's also, let's see here, that's also on each side here. We're not picking it up in the video. And this thing, I don't know what this thing is, but that's not part of a Mola Mola unit. You know what happens for the guy? Let's see here. Serial number 0118. 0118. Now listen, I'm not destroying this guy's chance of ever selling this unit because he already did that. It's been destroyed. All this was done before it even powered up. There's not a thing in here that hasn't been touched. Shellac everywhere. And look at all over every chip, and now it's blown up. It doesn't work. And there's nothing a manufacturer can do here. I mean, to replace every board, and you know, it ends up taking apart and troubleshooting what happened. It ends up costing more than building a new unit. Look at the shellac that's in there. There's something everywhere. The more you look at this board. But there's a couple of dots there. Like I said, there's something's melted down there. And then there's copper. You see the fiber optic cables that have been cut or broke or whatever you want to call it. The guy read something on the internet or talked to some, as I call them, snake oil salesman or voodoo black magic maker, and they told him that this would be a good idea. and without ever listening to the DAC, decided to modify it. I think you can see, it gets so bad. And again, I haven't even torn it off down there, but we got this copper thing here. We've got dots. Look at this board. Anyway, and when I told the fellow about this, he told me that he removed most of what he applied. So I can only imagine what it looked like, but I've begged him. I've agreed to sell him another one with the promise of not doing this. Here's more copper. Just everywhere. So you understand what I'm coming from, where I'm coming from with this Moa Moa serial numbered 0118. Well, let's get this out of the way and then we'll continue the conversation. All right, I'm back. It's actually quite depressing to me, but so when you buy used gear, do you know what's inside? Do you know if it's ever been modified? I think we're going to have to create a sheet on used gear with a questionnaire and with a callback clause. Geez, how do you know what's inside there? Or now the thing's been sold 3 or 4 times, how do you know who to go back to? It's, buyer beware. But there's no doubt, there's no question why manufacturers only warranty audio products to the original purchaser and they don't transfer. That's why. That DAC is proof. But getting back to one size fits all. So those little dots, those little stickers, I discovered what the stickers are. Telos, I guess you can read about it, and whoever sells them, I'm sure you'll find, I read about them, there's an online company selling them. You can read about that thing, and if you choose to believe it or not. But that may work for one thing, one component inside a component that wasn't soldered down right or whatever, but to just think that it works and it just changes the sound of every component. There's not a single thing on that board that wasn't touched, and therefore not a single piece of that is a Moa Moa anymore. And you've got Bruno Puzzi's the designer, and one of the, for those that know, and for those that don't know Bruno Puzzi, should look him up. The pedigree is there. But then Moa Moa is part of Hypex Corporation. They literally sell hundreds of millions of euros worth of product a year. They have on staff somewhere between 35 and 40 engineers. In the Moa Moa division, I believe there's 9 engineers on staff. And do we really think that some guy that developed a sticker or a dot and is going to tell you to pepper your equipment internally with them knows more than Bruno and the engineers? All right, well, it's the holiday season. I don't want to beat this to death, but I think you get the idea. I just felt I had to show people this. When I saw this the first time, I was just in awe, shaking my head in disbelief, and really, it's disturbing and scary to me that a unit would get destroyed. I actually like this stuff. I sell this stuff. I believe in this stuff. But I thought it would be a good warning on pre-owned gear as well. You know, everyone likes a deal. Sometimes we can't afford the retail on products, but do make sure that you know what you're getting. And now, after seeing this, I'm certainly going to know what's going to be traded in. Guys, I cannot wait to see you next year. Please subscribe, as I said at the beginning, that helps us. Like this video, give us a thumbs up, share it, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll see you next year. Have a safe, healthy, and prosperous new year.